The truth arrived in pieces. Not all at once. Never clean. He spent the afternoon in controlled motion. Meetings finished faster than usual. Orders given without explanation. Phones answered with fewer words. Every instinct in him was alert. Not jealous. Not wounded. Hunting. By evening, he knew 3 things. Someone had accessed secure information. Someone had been careful. And someone trusted her enough to warn her instead of him. That alone narrowed the list. She stayed late again. Of course she did. When the building finally emptied, he stood and walked out of his office. No glass between them now. No distance to hide behind. "We need to talk," he said. She looked up slowly. Tired. Guarded. Still steady. "I know," she replied. The door closed behind them. This time she did not fold her arms. Did not stand defensively. "I didn't want you involved," she said before he could speak. His jaw tightened. "You don't get to decide that alone," he replied. She met his eyes. "I do when your world puts people in danger," she said. "Especially me." That surprised him. He sat. Not behind the desk. Across from her. "Tell me what you can," he said. She inhaled deeply. "The messages are not personal," she said. "Not the way you think." "Then what are they?" he asked. "Warnings," she replied. His body went still. "About what?" "About someone inside your organization," she said. "Someone planning something." The room felt smaller. "Why didn't you tell me?" he asked. "Because you would have acted immediately," she said. "And someone would be dead. Maybe the wrong person." He held her gaze. Searching for deceit. There was none. "I was trying to confirm it," she continued. "I didn't want blood on my hands." That hit him harder than accusation. "You think I am careless," he said. "No," she replied softly. "I think you are ruthless when you feel threatened." He did not argue. She leaned forward. "The person contacting me used to work in security," she said. "They know your routines. Your blind spots." His fingers curled. "And you trusted them?" he asked. "I trusted the information," she said. He stood suddenly. Pacing. "If this is real," he said, "then you are already a target." "I know," she replied. "Why didn't you come to me?" he asked. "Because I didn't want to lose my place here," she said. "And because I didn't want you to look at me like a liability." That word sliced deep. He stopped pacing. "You are not a liability," he said firmly. She looked at him then. Really looked. "Then why does it feel like everything I touch becomes dangerous?" She whispered. Silence filled the room. "I don't want to be the reason someone gets hurt," she continued. "Including you." His voice lowered. "And what if I'm already hurt?" he asked. Her breath hitched. She stood slowly. "I never meant to make you lose control," she said. "You didn't," he replied. "I chose to." She took a step closer. "If this gets worse," she said, "I will walk away." He shook his head. "No," he said. "You want." Her eyes widened. "Because now," he continued, "you are under my protection." She swallowed. "That is what I was afraid of," she said. He moved closer. Close enough to feel her breath. "You should be," he said quietly. "Because I will not stop until I know the truth. And when I do," he added, "no one who put you in danger will survive." The words were not a threat. They were a promise. The danger stopped being quiet. It moved. He felt it before proof arrived. A pressure in the air. A shift in patterns. Men who should not be watching were watching. He doubled security without announcement. Changed routes. Changed times. Changed habits. She noticed. "You are preparing for something," she said softly that morning. He did not deny it. "I am preventing something," he replied. Her fingers tightened around her tablet. "About me?" she asked. "About everything," he answered. That was the first time she looked afraid. Not panicked. Not weak. Afraid in a way that came from understanding too much. By afternoon, the message arrived. Not on her phone. On his. A burner number. One line. She was right. "Check your inner circle." His blood went cold. He moved fast after that. Meetings canceled. Doors locked. Orders given in coded language. By nightfall, 2 men were pulled in for questioning. One broke immediately. The other smiled. That smile told him everything. The threat was real. And close. When he returned to his office, she was waiting. Standing, not sitting. As if she already knew. "You found something," she said. "Yes," he replied. Her voice shook. "Was it who I thought?" she asked. "Yes," he said again. She closed her eyes. Exhaled slowly. "I tried to warn you," she whispered. "You did," he replied. "I just did not listen soon enough." The building went into lockdown. Lights dimmed. Security repositioned. She reached for her bag. "You need to leave," he said immediately. "No," she replied. "Not now. This is not a choice," he said. "It is," she answered. "If this is my fault, I stay." He stepped closer. Anger and fear twisting inside him. "You are not staying here," he said. "Then take me with you," she said. That stopped him. Her eyes were steady. Not brave. Not reckless. Resolved. "You are already involved," she continued. "Running will not change that." He studied her. Saw the strength beneath the calm. The steel beneath the quiet. "You understand what this means," he said. "Yes," she replied. "It means you will stop pretending I am fragile," she added. His chest tightened. "I never thought that," he said. "You did," she answered. "Just a little." He did not deny it. The alarm sounded then. Not loud. Controlled. One of the outer teams had been breached. He grabbed his jacket. "Stay behind me," he ordered. She nodded. They moved through the hallway together. Men stepping aside. Weapons hidden but ready. For the first time, she saw his world clearly. Not the polished office. The danger beneath. She did not flinch. At the exit, a figure appeared. Familiar. Trusted. Too trusted. The man smiled. Just like the one earlier. He said her name. That was when the truth became unavoidable. She was not collateral. She was the target. And as the man raised his hand, not in greeting, but in signal, the Mafia boss understood something that shattered his control completely. Looking at her phone had not started this. It had only revealed how close the danger already was, and how much he was willing to destroy to keep her alive. Control did not leave him in a single moment. It fractured. The hallway filled with movement. Shouts cut short. Footsteps turned sharp. He reacted without thinking. His body moved on instinct older than rules. He stepped in front of her, one arm pushing her back, the other already raised. The man smiled wider. "You should have listened to her," he said calmly. The shot did not come. Not yet. The signal had already been given. Lights went out. Emergency power snapped on. Red washed the walls. She felt his hand tighten around her wrist. Not rough. Protective. Unyielding. "Stay with me," he said low. The first explosion rocked the lower level. Not close enough to kill. Close enough to warn. Chaos erupted. Security shouted commands. Weapons came into view. He pulled her through a side corridor. One he had never intended her to see. Doors opened at his touch. Locks disengaged. She stumbled once. He caught her. Held her. For a split second they were chest to chest. Breath mixing. Fear and heat colliding. "If you let go," she whispered, "I might not follow." He leaned close. "I am not letting go," he said. That was not a promise. It was surrender. Another blast. Closer. The traitor had planned well. Cut power. Create confusion. Isolate the target. Her phone vibrated violently in her pocket. He felt it. "Don't," he said. She pulled it out anyway. Hands shaking. A message. One line. "If he chooses the building, choose the exit." Her face drained. He saw it. Read it over her shoulder. He lost control then. Not Ray. Not fury. Fear. For the first time in his life. He imagined her gone. Not betrayed. Not taken. Gone. He turned sharply. Issued orders into his comm. Clear path to the west exit. Nah. Men responded instantly. The traitor appeared again at the end of the corridor. Weapon visible now. "You were always predictable," the man said. The boss stepped forward. "You made one mistake." He replied. "You touched what is mine." She gasped. That was the truth. Finally spoken. Gunfire exploded. Short controlled, brutal. The traitor fell. Silence followed. Heavy. Shaking. She stood frozen. Heart racing. Hands numb. He turned to her. Blood on his sleeve. Not his. "Are you hurt?" he asked. She shook her head. He pulled her into him. Hard. Sudden. She felt his heart pounding. Felt his breath unsteady. "I saw your phone," he said against her hair. "And I thought I was losing you to secrets." He pulled back. Held her face. "But tonight," he continued, "I almost lost you to death." Tears burned her eyes. "I tried to protect you," she whispered. "I know," he said. His voice broke. "I should have trusted you," he said. "Instead, I watched you like a threat." She reached for him, fingers gripping his jacket. "You are terrifying when you care," she said softly. He gave a hollow laugh. "I am worse when I don't." "Sir," a voice interrupted. "Perimeter secured." He nodded once. "Get her out," he ordered. She grabbed his hand. "No," she said. "Not without you." He hesitated, then nodded. They walked out together into the night. Sirens distant. City alive and unaware. For the first time, he did not care who saw him. Who whispered. Who knew? He had crossed every line he ever set. And he knew one thing. Whatever happened next, whatever truth remained, he was done pretending control mattered more than her. And the world would learn the cost of that choice. The silence after violence was never peaceful. It was heavy. Waiting. They were inside the safe house before dawn. A place only 5 people knew. Concrete walls, steel doors, no windows. Security humming softly like a living thing. She sat at the table, hands wrapped around a glass of water. Still trembling. Still standing. He watched her from across the room. The strongest men he knew had broken after less. She had not. You should rest, he said. She shook her head. I can't. Not yet. He understood. The truth did not wait for comfort. She reached into her pocket slowly, pulled out her phone, placed it on the table between them. This is what you didn't see, she said. His eyes locked on the device. I didn't want you to see it like that, she continued. Out of context, without explanation. Then show me, he replied. Her fingers moved across the screen. Not shaking now. Resolved. She turned it toward him. Messages. Dates. Voice notes. Files. Not warnings. Not fear. Evidence. You were never the target, she said quietly. His breath slowed. Then who was? He asked. She met his eyes. Your brother. The word landed like a blade. That is impossible, he said. You haven't spoken to him in years, she replied. But others have. She scrolled. Transactions. Transfers. Internal maps. Security access codes. All routed through one name. One shadow. The traitor you killed tonight, she said, was only the messenger. His hands clenched. My brother is dead, he said. She shook her head. No, she said. He is alive. And he has been watching you build everything he wanted. The room felt smaller. I was contacted months ago, she continued. Not because I was close to you, but because I was invisible. He stared at the screen. At proof. At betrayal older than memory. Why didn't you tell me? He asked. Her voice cracked. Because if I told you, you would have hunted him. And I didn't know if the truth would destroy you first. He closed his eyes. Every rule, every wall, every decision, built on a lie. She leaned forward. I stayed quiet until I could be sure, she said. Until I knew who was real and who was playing a part. You carried this alone, he said. I had to, she replied. If I failed, I was ready to disappear. That hurt more than the betrayal. You were going to leave, he said. Yes, she whispered. He stood abruptly, turned away, then back. You saved my life, he said. And you were prepared to lose me anyway. She nodded. Because loving you meant protecting you. Even from yourself. Silence crushed the space between them. Then he stepped forward. Slow. Careful. I built my world on control, he said. On knowing everything. He stopped inches from her. And you broke that world to save me. Tears filled her eyes. If I had known you would get hurt, she said. He reached for her. Not demanding. Not commanding. Choosing. I would rather be broken and alive, he said, than whole and without you. She breathed out a sob. This is not over, she said. I know, he replied. He looked at the phone again. At the final message she had hidden. A single unsent draft. If I disappear, he is not dead. His gaze hardened. Nah, he said quietly. We finished this. Together. Morning came without light. Only a slow awareness that everything had changed. He stood alone in the center of the safe house. Hands braced on the table. Eyes fixed on nothing. Control had always been his armor. Now it lay cracked at his feet. She watched him quietly. Not afraid. Not pleading. Waiting. The name of his brother still echoed in his head. A ghost he had buried with his own hands. A lie he had lived inside for years. You were never meant to see this side of me, he said finally. She stepped closer. I saw it the moment you looked at my phone. She replied. The moment you stopped being untouchable. He turned to her. Everything I built was to make sure no one could reach me. He said, and you reached me without trying. She did not deny it. The message you hid. He continued. The one you never sent. If I disappear, he is not dead. She nodded. I was ready to vanish. She said, if it meant you would live. That was the moment he broke. Not loudly. Not violently. He crossed the room in 3 steps. Pulled her into his arms. Not possession. Not control. Fear. I thought losing power was my greatest fear. He whispered. I was wrong. She held him tightly. Losing you is. She said. He closed his eyes, letting that truth settle. The phone buzzed on the table. Once. Then again. Both of them froze. He reached for it first this time. Not with anger. With clarity. A single message appeared. You chose her. Now choose your ending. He smiled then. A slow, dangerous smile. He turned to her. This is where it ends. He said. Or begins. She replied. He nodded. I am not dismantling my empire. He said. I am reshaping it. She studied his face. And your brother? She asked. He looked back at the phone. He thinks I will come for him in rage. He said. He is wrong. He turned off the device. I am coming for him with truth. He continued. And with you beside me. She inhaled sharply. That world is dark. She said. So am I. He replied. Then his voice softened. But not with you. The plan formed quickly. Not on paper. An instinct. False trails. Leaked information. Silence where violence was expected. Days passed. Then weeks. The brother surfaced. Confident. Careless. He wanted spectacle. He wanted blood. He got exposure. Allies turned. Accounts froze. Protection vanished. When they finally stood face to face, there were no weapons. Only words. You looked at her phone. The brother sneered. And lost control. He stepped forward calmly. No. He said. I found it. He walked away, leaving the past to collapse behind him. The world shifted quietly after that. She stayed. Not because she was trapped, but because she chose to. And he changed. Not because he was weak, but because love had become the one thing he refused to rule. Months later, she asked him once, do you regret looking at my phone? He kissed her forehead. It showed me the truth. He said, and the truth made me lose control. Then he smiled. And for the first time, I did not want it back. He lived by rules the way other men lived by instinct. Every hour of his day followed a structure so precise it bordered on ritual. Wake before sunrise. Black coffee, no sugar. Suit pressed the night before. Security briefing at 7:15 sharp. No surprises, no wasted motion, no weakness. In his world, control was not a preference, it was survival. People feared him because he never raised his voice, because he never explained himself, because when he said something once it was law. Loyalty was non-negotiable, privacy was sacred, order was everything. Anyone who violated those rules did not get a second chance. The office reflected him perfectly. Glass walls, clean lines, muted colors. Nothing personal on display. No photographs, no clutter, no distractions. Every person who worked here knew where they stood and how easily they could be replaced. Everyone except her. She sat just outside his office every day, calm and unshaken, like she belonged there. Not impressed by power, not intimidated by silence. She knew his schedule better than he did, knew when to interrupt and when to disappear. She spoke softly but never timidly, efficient, precise, emotionally guarded. Too guarded. She had been with him for 2 years and never once asked a personal question, never once crossed a line. She handled his world with a steadiness that made even his most trusted men respect her. Files moved because she willed it. Meetings happened because she allowed them to. His empire ran smoother with her in it. That was a fact, nothing more. And yet lately facts had begun to blur. It started with small things, a pause before answering, a glance down at her desk that lasted a second too long, a silence that stretched where it never used to. He noticed everything. He always had. It was how he stayed alive. He noticed the way her shoulders tensed when she thought no one was watching, the way she inhaled before stepping into his office as if preparing for impact, the way her eyes flicked away from his just a heartbeat too fast. And then there was the phone. The first vibration barely registered, a soft hum against the wood of her desk. Normal, everyone had a phone. He told himself that and kept reading the report in front of him. Then it happened again. And again. He looked up this time without meaning to. Through the glass wall, he could see her silhouette shift slightly. Her hand moved fast, practiced, sliding the phone face down. Too smooth, too familiar. Something tight formed in his chest. It was none of his business. That thought came sharp and immediate. She was not his property. She was an employee, a trusted one, but still an employee. His rules were clear. Personal lives stayed outside these walls. He enforced that rule harder than any other. So why did his jaw tighten when the phone vibrated again? He leaned back slowly, eyes never leaving the glass. She did not look toward him. She never did when she checked it, as if she already knew he would be watching. That was ridiculous. He forced his attention back to the screen in front of him. Numbers, names, logistics, things that made sense, things he could control. The vibration cut through the room again. This time it came with light. A brief glow reflected against the glass, just enough to catch his attention. He did not see the screen, just the glow, just the fact that it was still happening. His fingers curled against the arm of the chair. Rules existed for a reason. Privacy mattered. He had built an empire on respecting boundaries. Crossing them was dangerous. He should not care. But he did. Not because he wanted her secrets, not because he suspected betrayal. At least that was what he told himself. It was because he hated not knowing. He hated anything that pulled focus away from the order he had created. Hated variables he could not account for, and lately she had become one. She stood then carrying a folder into his office like nothing was wrong. Calm, composed, professional. She placed it on his desk exactly where he liked it, close enough that he caught the faint scent of her perfume, something subtle, something warm. Their eyes met for a fraction of a second. Something unspoken passed between them. Familiarity, tension, a question neither of them asked. "Is there anything else?" she said evenly. He studied her face, the stillness, the control, the way nothing showed. "No," he replied after a pause. She nodded once and turned away. As she left, the phone vibrated again. This time, he did not look away. Curiosity sparked sharp and unwelcome. For the first time since she had walked into his world, he realized something dangerous. Control was slipping, and he did not yet know why. The building followed his rhythm long before the city woke up. Lights on in precise order. Security checks completed without conversation. Coffee already waiting on his desk, exactly as he preferred. Control was not something he practiced. It was something he embodied. He noticed everything. The smallest change in air. The pause between footsteps. The silence that lingered too long. That was why he noticed her before she even sat down. She arrived on time as always. Hair neat, posture straight, expression calm. But something was different. Not obvious, not careless. Just enough to disturb him. She placed her bag under the desk and opened her tablet. Her fingers moved with the same efficiency he trusted. Yet her eyes drifted once toward the drawer. A brief glance, but deliberate. His chest tightened. Again, none of his business. Again, he reminded himself of that rule. Work began as usual. Meetings, scheduled, documents signed, calls taken. She moved in and out of his office smoothly. Always composed, always respectful. Always distant, in a way that had never bothered him before. Until today. The vibration came mid-morning. Not loud, not disruptive. Just enough. She paused mid-sentence. A single beat of silence. He caught it. Her eyes flicked down. Then back up. She continued speaking as if nothing had happened. He did not interrupt. He did not comment. But something in his gaze sharpened. When she left his office, the phone vibrated again. This time, she did not hide it fast enough. He saw the screen light up. Not the message. Not the name. Just the glow. And it felt like a challenge. His mind moved fast. Too fast. Was it business? No one contacted her directly, unless he approved. Was it family? She never spoke of them. Was it someone new? That thought landed heavier than it should have. He hated the reaction instantly. Jealousy was weakness. Curiosity was risk. Attachment was dangerous. Yet there it was. When the lie did not come loudly. It slipped in quietly like a shadow that pretended to belong. He called her into his office just before noon. Nothing urgent. Nothing dramatic. A routine request delivered in the same controlled tone he used for everything. She stepped inside and closed the door behind her. Calm as ever. Too calm. He watched her carefully. The way she held her tablet close to her body. The way her shoulders stayed slightly tense. As if she was guarding something invisible. Sit, he said. She did. Hands folded, posture perfect, eyes steady. For a moment, he said nothing. Silence was a tool he used often. Most people cracked under it. She did not. You have been distracted lately, he said finally. Her eyes flickered just once. So small most men would miss it. He did not. I don't think so, she replied. Voice even respectful. That was the lie. Not because the words were false, but because of how carefully they were chosen. He leaned back slowly, folding his hands in front of him, studying her like a problem that refused to solve itself. You handle sensitive material, he said. Confidential matters. Personal data. Yes, she answered without hesitation. If something interferes with that focus, he continued, it becomes my concern. I understand, she said. Another lie. This one was softer, almost kind. He stood then, moved closer but not too close. Enough that she could feel his presence. Enough that the air changed. Is there something you are not telling me? He asked. Her breath stalled for half a second. Then she looked up at him fully. Eyes clear, steady, guarded. No, she said. This time the lie hurt. Not because he needed the truth, but because she had never lied to him before. He searched her face, looking for cracks, for guilt, for fear. There was none. That scared him more than anger ever could. Very well, he said quietly. She nodded, stood, turned toward the door. As her hand touched the handle, her phone vibrated. Inside her bag, a muted sound, but loud enough in the silence. She froze, just for a second. But that second told him everything. She did not turn around, did not explain, did not apologize. She walked out. The door closed softly behind her. He stood alone in the office, heart beating slower, heavier. Memories rose uninvited. Men who smiled while stealing from him. Partners who swore loyalty, then sold his name. People who said nothing while planning everything. He had survived them all because he trusted instinct over comfort. And right now his instinct was screaming. He did not want to believe she could betray him. He did not want to imagine her on the other side of a secret. Yet secrets were the most dangerous currency in his world. He returned to his desk. Tried to work. Failed. Every vibration from outside, the office felt louder now. Every silence felt intentional. By late afternoon, he made a decision. Not emotional. Not reckless. Necessary. He would not confront her again. Not yet. He would watch. He would listen. He would wait. Because the most powerful truth always revealed itself. And when it did, he would be ready. Whatever it was. Whoever it involved. And whether it broke his rules. Or his heart. The shift did not happen all at once. It happened quietly. Like a door closing without sound. He stopped asking questions. Stopped watching her directly. That alone would have terrified anyone else. But she did not notice. Or she pretended not to. He returned to routine. Meetings contracts phone calls. The empire moved as it always had. Yet something inside him stayed alert. Tight. Unsettled. By late afternoon the office thinned. Voices, faded footsteps disappeared. Only the hum of electricity remained. She stayed. She always stayed. He stood from his desk and walked to the glass wall. Pretending to stretch. Pretending to think. Her desk was neat. Too neat. Her bag rested beside the chair. The zipper slightly open. The phone vibrated. This time, she was not there to hide it. His body reacted before his mind could stop it. A slow step. Then another. Every rule he lived by pressed against his chest. Privacy. Respect. Distance. He broke them all. He stopped beside her desk. Did not touch anything. Did not pick up the phone. He only looked. The screen lit up again. A name appeared. Just one word. Enough. His breath slowed. His pulse sharpened. The message preview was short. But it carried weight. Are you safe? Call me. His jaw tightened. Safe. That word did not belong in her world. Not unless danger had already entered. Another vibration. Another message. I told you not to handle this alone. Handle what? His hand curled into a fist. Not in anger. In control. Someone was involved. Someone who spoke to her like they had authority. Like they had access. That was unacceptable. Footsteps echoed behind him. He stepped back instantly. Expression unreadable. She entered the office space. Stopped when she saw him standing near her desk. Their eyes met. For the first time, something cracked in her calm. Not fear. Not guilt. Recognition. She knew. You forgot your phone. He said evenly. She nodded slowly. Crossed the room. Picked it up. Her fingers trembled just enough. Thank you, she said. Their hands brushed. Electric. Brief. Dangerous. She pulled away first. He returned to his office. Sat down harder than necessary. From now on, he said through the open door. Personal phones stay off desks during work hours. There was a pause. Understood. She replied. Her voice was steady. Too steady. The night deepened. The city outside glowed. He stayed late. Long after he should have left. He watched her pack up. Watched her glance at the phone. Watched her hesitate. She left without saying goodbye. Minutes later, security footage played silently on his screen. He saw her step outside. Saw her answer the phone. Saw her smile. The smile hit harder than any threat. This was no longer curiosity. This was loss of control. And he knew then. The truth was already moving, whether he was ready or not. The night did not calm him. It sharpened him. Sleep never came. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the glow of her phone. The word safe. The smile she did not give him. By morning, his control was no longer quiet. It was focused. He arrived early. Earlier than anyone. The building still smelled like cleaning solution and cold marble. Security reports were already open on his desk. Not because he had ordered them. Because his instincts had. No names yet. No faces. Just movement patterns and access points. He closed the file when he heard footsteps. The ones he recognized without looking. She entered at exactly the same time as always. Calm. Professional. Guarded. Good morning. She said. Morning. He replied. Their eyes met. Held longer than usual. Something tense passed between them. He did not mention the phone. Did not accuse. Did not question. Instead he watched. Watched her answer calls. Watched her fingers hesitate near her bag. Watched her avoid his office unless necessary. By noon, the silence between them had weight. He broke it. Cancel my afternoon meeting. He said. Her head lifted. Surprise flashed, then vanished. Is something wrong? She asked. No. He replied. I want you free. Her fingers paused on the tablet. For what? She asked carefully. He leaned back. Eyes never leaving her. Lunch. He said. The word landed hard. She did not refuse. But she did not smile either. They sat across from each other at a private table. No staff. No witnesses. He did not touch the food. You have been keeping something from me. He said. Her shoulders stiffened. I don't know what you mean. She replied. He leaned forward. Someone contacted you about danger. About safety. About handling something. Her eyes darkened. You looked at my phone. She said. Not a question. He did not deny it. I looked at what was left in my space. He said. You brought it into my world. Her jaw tightened. You crossed a line. She said. So did you. He replied. Silence stretched. Then she spoke. You do not own me. She said quietly. You do not get to control every part of my life. I do not want to. He said. But I need to know if what follows you can destroy what I built. That was the truth. Her voice shook slightly. I am not betraying you. She said. If that is what you are thinking, then tell me. He said. She hesitated. And in that hesitation, his restraint snapped. He stood. Moved closer. Lowered his voice. There are men in my world who use people as weapons. He said. If someone is using you to reach me, I will burn them alive. Her breath caught. You think I would let that happen? She asked. I think you are trying to protect something. He said. And I don't know if it is me or yourself. That hurt her. He saw it. You are dangerous when you don't know everything. She said. And you are dangerous when you hide things from me. He replied. The tension was sharp enough to cut. She stood abruptly. This is not professional. She said. This is control. He did not stop her. Go. He said. She walked away. But as she reached the door, she turned. Whoever this is. She said. They are not your enemy. Then why are they warning you? He asked. She did not answer. That was worse than a lie. As the door closed, he knew one thing with certainty. Jealousy was no longer the problem. Danger was. And whatever she was hiding was already closer than either of them realized.